Hi guys, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. Please excuse me today if I trip over my words. I'm a bit tired. I haven't gotten any good sleep the past couple nights, and then this morning the devil dog next door, and I say that very affectionately, they let their dog out before 7, and the dog just barks no matter what, right next to my house. So I probably didn't react as well as I could have, because I tend to bang on the windows so they get the signal to get their dog back in the house. But that is a reaction, so I definitely got triggered by the dog this morning. Just want to preface with that. But other than being a bit tired, I do feel good today. Actually, I'm a little tired because of the read this morning. It took a lot of energy to process a lot of the stuff that came up. So I'm going to get to it. I have a lot to tell you about the sand art, because a lot of messages came through that, as well as then I'm just going to show you the read from today, but I'll put in some information from the feminine and masculine reads from yesterday. Just the Divine Feminine read from this morning was very profound, plus all of the sand art messages. So let me just give you, show you the picture from this morning. Okay, so this is the read for today, the Divine Feminine. All right, so we start out with the sand art from last night, and actually it's information from first the second and then from today's energy. Because there's a lot of information from both. I was surprised, because sometimes when I do the sand art, I don't get a lot of information. I might get nothing sometimes, or just one thing. But there was a lot of information here. So I'm going to tell you this information, and then I'll get into the reading part of things. Where are we? Today is October 3rd, 2018. And I'll get into that when I get into the reads. From the sand art from yesterday. There was a large shark bleeding from the left eye and the left fang, so left fang out, the feminine side, or the left ear, which was heart-based. Okay, so the bleeding is heart-based. And there's no right eye seen in this shark. But again, this could be a shark as in a negative shark, but it also can be the shark that has the honing device, right, where he can see without seeing, okay, which is a positive. I was also seeing a sperm descending as Jesus ascends a hill of emotions. Also, I saw a baby bottle and a wishbone, or a tuning fork, and notes of strong emotions, and a message being handed to those in turmoil. The note has a ring attached, placed into a portal, and then received another back immediately. As the waves splash up against the coast, the one-eyed shark remains intact. Maybe some swelling around the left ear and jaw line, okay? Later the shark became a two-headed shark divided by Atlantis, Egypt energies, where the Divine Feminine was given more awareness and clearer vision, and only a stick with one leaf as a weapon, and a little extra cross to bear from Atlantis and Egypt in the timelines, and the Divine Masculine was unaware of this. Okay, so very much Atlantis and Egypt were coming up, and the wounds from the Divine Masculine and Feminine from those times, okay? So the energy from today, and take those energies as you receive them, okay? They don't have to have a specific message from me. Those are the messages I got from the sand art. So however you receive them is the message you're supposed to get. The energies from today, someone is squeezing every last drop they can out of the Divine Masculine. Someone or a doctor, it looks like, is probing the Divine Masculine, scoping him, and or manipulating him as his back and shoulders have become pronounced. The most pressure for the Divine Masculine I'm being shown is at the mid to upper spine. Someone is definitely taking from him, ribs being crushed laterally inward, screws, somebody might be having screws placed in a right shoulder or a side or an elbow, but I was getting the right side, with focus on his thoracic spine, where the issues are in pain. And then I see a seal, a squirrel, or a mongoose, and pigeons, used like leeches and bottom feeders. Okay, and the seal was also coming up as something else, which I'll get into in a minute. There's basically two full storylines in the sand art. Okay, so these, the things I'm seeing, the seal, the squirrel or mongoose, the pigeons, and I don't normally think of mongoose, so that was different. So let me know if that sinks for somebody. And the pigeons used like leeches, you know, to suck things out of people, and bottom feeders, you know, to clean up the mess afterwards. As the pyramid energy comes back into play, so Atlantis and Egypt, okay? A seed planted long ago and watered faithfully. And then I got Barbary Coast, which I would never think of that, so that must mean something to somebody, but let me know if the Barbary Coast means anything to you. And then I got Home of the Devil Dog. Okay? And then I had the reference to Devil Dog this morning, barking, waking me up. As the poor scramble to grab what is left over, and people are hiding, they're hiding in pyramids, and others strong-arming to get through as the locals so I see people hiding in some pyramids, but others are strong-arming in order to get through as the Loch Ness Monster swims by during a shakedown. Okay, so there's definitely strong-arming and shakedown, you know, energy coming in, okay? The Divine Masculine's wings are out, but he is weak. I see a tent camping with munchkins and all heart, and someone to check in on them with a flashlight to make sure they're not up to no good, and then tucking them in to say goodnight. I see a mosque as the weakened Divine Masculine's emotions rise. Mother Mary comes to me speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And actually I cried when that came up. Okay, I got a connection and I cried. And this had to do with a past experience for the Divine Masculine where Mother Mary came to him to help him. Okay, but this is also coming back now in the Divine Masculine's lowest hour, where Mother Mary comes to him speaking words of wisdom to let it be. She allows him time to rest and recover. This could be metaphoric, it could be Mother Mary, but it also could be someone who acts to him like Mother Mary, okay? She allows him time to rest and recover, calming all emotions around her. And I see two kids peeking out to see as she lays her body over the tent, or igloo possibly, or possibly old-fashioned furnace. So she's like leaving, but then she actually stays and lays her body over the tent to protect them, okay? The second storyline is a little bit more dark, okay? So in the second storyline, here we have the bride coming down that aisle again. This is the showy bride and the showy Divine Masculine, okay? So this could be karmic related. A bride connected to a hulky DM, Divine Masculine, as blessings are given. However, there's a hole in the hand of the person who's giving the blessings. Then it looks like a mother comes at the head of the aisle to talk to the bride before walking down the aisle. Doesn't have to be a mother, but this is what I was getting from it. while two of the divine masculine's men listen in. Okay, so the mother's coming to say something to the bride, and the masculine's best men or someone he's connected to are listening into their conversation. Then the scene becomes a coven of a man with his right hand on the Bible, a KKK member, and an old woman with a side part on the right of her head, sprinkling sands and herbs, casting a spell and mixing new potions. As the Bible man filters, and I was also getting the Bible man as that devil dog, as he filters, feeds, and acts as a cover for the three. Okay, the man with the right hand on the Bible. They are using the leftovers of this bride to plant seeds of a family seal or a family crest. Okay, so there's some kind of family lineage here coming in. They are using the leftovers of this bride to plant seeds of a family seal of 7 generations. And then I got of the Salem witch trials. And then I looked up the year, and it literally is like 7 generations from the Salem witch trials. And by the way, when I looked that up, just some of the details from the Salem witch trials, because obviously this is coming up to be cleared. 200 were accused, 19, this is from Wiki, 19 were found guilty and executed by hanging, 14 were women and 5 were men. And that was interesting because remember when I told you the numbers of Adam and Eve, and Adam was 14 and 14, and Eve added up to 14:5. So here we are, have 14 women and 5 men, okay, referencing back to Adam and Eve again. Okay, 1 man was actually pressed to death for refusal to plead, and at least 5 died in jail. It started because in January of 1692, a 9-year-old Elizabeth, I guess her nickname was Betty, and her name was Elizabeth Parris, with 2 R's, and 11-year-old Abigail Williams, which was the niece, so it's the daughter and the niece, they began having fits. Okay, and they were the daughter and niece of the minister of Salem Village, so obviously it was very important to get to the bottom of why this happened anyway. That's what set off the witch hunt. So very important that they're coming up. So here is important to note that I was getting 7 generations, okay? Which is important. Devil Dog senses a leak around Halloween as the old woman falls apart and the KKK become fearful and turn away. And the old woman is hiding her face. And then the devil dog turns on himself and erodes as a drone hovers and a new flower takes form. He hides in a cave with dark energies strong-arming him as the fall guy. As Jesus watches the drone disappear, the mosque appears and Mother Mary addresses the inner child of the devil dog as the devil dog is defeated. And then we see literally I have a dog's face where the dog, and I got the twice. The devil dog first looks like a devil dog, and then at the end of the read he looks like, you know, a defeated dog. But now his face looks different, looks like a normal dog. Where one eye is dark and round, that's the right eye. And the left eye is bright white and more slanted, so it's more of a slit, whereas the other eye was round, okay? But it's bright white and supporting the right wing of the divine masculine. As strong emotions are transmuted, his left eye opens even more. So it's like the dog that was dying and defeated, all of a sudden his left eye awakens a little bit. And 2 others hiding from Mother Mary. As emotions settle, she shows the 2. She sees them before she leaves, but instead of leaving, she lays across the outside of the cave. Okay, so again, she's staying to comfort them, even though, you know, these were the bad kids now. She still comforts them. They're still her children. Okay, so this was, you know, I'm getting connection to. It was a very strong message. This coven was a very potent coven here, and it has to do with a connection to a long line of witches from Salem, is what it's saying. 7 generations, okay? but it was not a good combination. But it was just showing how just allowing the vibrations to rise will naturally take down those who are doing evil deeds, okay? But you might want to listen back to that too if you didn't get everything. Please let me know if you get anything from that message as well. Okay, so I'm going to go back to yesterday just for a, I'll tell you the Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine reads from yesterday. I wanted to bring up again the three queens from yesterday. And it was interesting because it was talking about three queens reversed and being released from these three queens for the Divine Masculine. So I don't know if he's living with three women. You know, could be kids involved, but I was showing three queens. So they seem to be around the same age group range. But it's possible it could be a mother and the two daughters if they're treated like equals in the home. But it was three queens reversed. It also could be like the Divine Masculine's partner and friends that are always there, like that maybe are on his nerves because they're always there taking his space. Or it came up in comments yesterday too about three sisters who are apart. But also, again, this is bringing up this coven energy of the three queens reversed. You know, that's very negative energy. But also the Divine Feminine coming up as the Queen of Cups had two masculines reversed on her at that time as well. I think it was the King of Wands and the King of Pentacles. The three queens were the Queen of Pentacles was not included. It was the other three queens: Wands, Swords, and Cups. Okay, reversed. So take it as it applies to you. But it was in the one of my Divine Masculine reads yesterday, and I was being guided to share that. Okay, so the Divine Feminine's read from yesterday. And yesterday was October 2nd. It was the energy of the two of the High Priestess, the energy of the day added up to 23-5, which was the King of Wands. And today we're in the Queen of Wands. And today is the third, which is the Empress. Okay, that's very strong with the energy that I was just talking about, the Empress and the Queen of Wands energy. All right, it's very karmic today. She comes up in the read as reversed. Okay, so I'm definite about this. And there's also mother-daughter energy coming up a lot today. So first from yesterday, the King of Wands and the High Priestess. So that's very much about the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine. And then today is more about the karmic and the mother energies. Okay. So yesterday, the Divine Feminine had no majors at all, so she was very much on her own to make up her own choices on what she was going to do that day, and she wasn't being guided. She was to use her own abilities. The read was at 10:01 yesterday. The court cards were King of Cups, Queen of Wands, and two pages, the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. So, you know, it's like a family energy situation. The pages can represent children, but they can also represent energies of opportunities and communications, okay? The numbers that came up in the coding and the read were I never see this, but literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different word numbers came up in a row. That was 78-10710. 78-10710, okay, which equals 24, which is the Queen of Wands, which is today's energy, okay? The other numbers came up yesterday in the read were 78, 10, 88, 7, 10, and 17, 78, 105, as well as 631 and 1010. And also, I wrote down 10, 7, 10, okay? So the codes had to do with a legacy destiny, boldly coming now, with stir of emotions, and seeking the highest good. So I was being told, and it's signed off by Jesus, all right? And Sophia, basically. So it's like the Christos Sophia energy, okay? So I was being told that this is very good because it's like good practice for transmutation, okay? So there's some huge situations and emotions coming out right now. So there's stirring up of emotions to train you to go to your highest good, okay, and go back to 0 point when you need to. All right, so it's the divine feminine inside the divine masculine in his heart. As number 18, the moon and 17 were coming up, the moon and the stars. The flower of the heart seeks the highest good, compassion. Okay, and it was all about compassion for the divine feminine yesterday. Okay, so then I wanted to look up 1010 because 10-4 comes up for me all the time. You know, not only is it a handle, but it's my friend's birthday, 10-4. So I looked up what was 1010 in CB language. And so I got all of these definitions of the CB codes, okay? So, and the time I was doing this was 1019. I got 1010, so what is 1010 Good Buddy? And I didn't know, but it came up that Good Buddy is now a gay reference as opposed to just a general reference. So it's changed over the years. I have to say, I probably haven't looked that up for 30 years, so. So 1010 means transmission completed, stand by. And this is all coming from truckroadservice.com. So again, 1010, transmission is completed, standing by. So we just received a huge transmission, right? 10-7 is out of service, leaving air. 10-8 is in service, subject to call. Okay, and 10-8 is going to be significant. 10-21 is call by telephone. 10-19 is nothing for you, return to base. 10-22, report in person to. So report in person, 10-22. 10-28 is ID your station. 10-29 was time is up for contact. So it was like a cutoff date by 10-29, which happens to be my son's birthday. 10-7-7 is negative contact, which was interesting that such a positive number from our point of view meant negative contact. 10-7-7, maybe not understood in the 3D world. 10-99 is mission completed, all units secure. 10-99. Okay, and that's interesting because 10-99 for me just brought up your pay, you know, not being on a payroll, but being paid as a subcontractor, because that makes you more independent. You're not dependent on someone else. Okay. 10-2 is receiving well, and then 10-33 is energy traffic at the station. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So let me know what you think about that, or if anything brings up something for you. So for the Divine Feminine yesterday, which is when a lot of the stuff I told you about Don Quixote came up during that, and chivalry being dead. Trinity came up right away for the Divine Feminine, as well as 37, which is the King of Cups, okay, or the unconditional love energy. There was dysfunctional family coming up for the Divine Feminine, or losing family money, refusing to see lack of opportunity, and needing more information. So this could be energy, it's in the Divine Feminine's read, but it could be about the Divine Masculine or the Divine Feminine's family, okay? Only the lower level offerings. So they're needing more information because there's only lower level offerings that are not ascended offerings. And this is when I actually got the call from my friend yesterday, who got some messages through. Okay, and this is also where the Akashic records came up, and having to do with death, and Don Quixote, and the Divine Masculine needing to be strong for the Divine Feminine, and so much death having to do with the Divine Feminine, because, you know, the Divine Masculine in history was always the warrior. They're the ones that went out to war. And so he was always fighting to protect his female. And it was interesting, when I looked up the notes for Don Quixote, it was 1133, which is very much the Christ vibration. And then it continued at 1155 yesterday. The Divine Masculine has chosen the path of the feminine in a masculine world in order to defend his feminine. The King of Wands looks down at women, feeling sorry for herself, or a woman who feels sorry for herself, who has so much and is yet still so sad. Grounding and integrating her lessons and wounds, being patient as an angel, taking one step at a time, putting feet in the dewy grass by the flowers tended to. Hanging up his shingle is something I got for some. Giving it work to the Queen of Cups reversed, who's crying and crying. So this is someone, the Queen of Cups reversed is someone either very manipulative, or it could just be someone who's really grieving, okay? But it could be it really could be over emotional as well, because usually if someone's grieving, the Queen of Swords might come up, but it could really just be someone who's so Queen of Cups, but, just not herself and really upset about something, okay? As he is balanced at work, the Divine Feminine suffers in integration. The King of Wands watches, and then the separation card comes up as the underlying energy. Transformation or death is out along with a sneaky little shit, is the download that I got, mixing potions, the white kiss of death. As twins comfort each other, so much is going on behind the scenes. Birds are diving, goats are waiting, and a man with a torch is heading toward the bird. Huge jealousy for a great love through work. Karmic completion also comes up as the underlying energy. A Page of Wands is excited of prospects of big money, overworking himself, imprisoning himself for money. And this could be both. It doesn't have to be him. It could actually be the Divine Feminine as well. Only patience and suffering and prison at work, with the Divine Feminine's heart standing between. After manifesting independence, the Divine Feminine's heart is open for business. The foundation has to do with the wounded warrior finally free to leap to the past, as the Queen of Wands separates from this Trinity business away from an angel. So it's like a karmic is leaving, working with the Divine Masculine. The King and Queen of Wands have been watching an angel at work. The Queen is the front man and the King of Wands is the puppeteer. Centrally, after success as a leader and needing a rest before getting back to the daily grind, burdened by the harsh truth of the Knight of Cups and the wounded warrior protecting their secrets. The challenge for the King of Cups, or for the Divine Feminine, has to do with the King of Cups being bored, integrating a new passion, and silent treatment, or spouting off about bleeding out at the hand of a cruel person who is committed to the King of Swords. Now, in the present moment, awake to the connection and burdened by third-party love and or overindulgences, and lacking nobility, but expressing feelings of imprisonment at work, wounded and weak due to the harsh truth of love, offers from a dream girl connection, bleeding out at his hand in marriage, romantically tied to the Queen of Cups, but controlled by a Leo who restrains him when he thinks of the Queen of Cups. Soon in the Batcave, which is the Divine Masculine's heart, after divorced but not complete, with message of love and Leo moving out. Okay, it could just be the Divine Masculine also being strong and moving, but is also getting a Leo energy moving out. Okay, so the Divine Feminine in this, she is working with crystals after finding justice or truth and balance, and in coming out of isolation, but still standing her ground. Passion comes up as well as chemistry for the Divine Feminine. and around the Divine Feminine, the King of Swords is blocked by family, and the Queen of Pentacles is not expressing her feelings. Okay? And is there any karmics around you in your life who may be exposing feelings of jealousy about what you're going through? Or are they just comforting you and understanding your situation? Clear blocks for the Divine Feminine of your own psychic abilities and opportunities after family cycle is over, and wondering if you have enough or if you are enough. The worst is over of sitting in negative emotions. Okay? Compassion comes up for the Divine Feminine, and perseverance. All right, to have compassion for others and don't give up. Have perseverance. The Divine Masculine may have 3 women in his heart: the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Swords. And there are definitely multiple situations here. Obviously, there's so many different situations to so many people that this reading has to do with. Some of the different scenarios are going to be what could be obvious, which would be a wife who either is still with him or not with him, or having an affair, and then the Divine Feminine on top of that. It could also just be it could also be a partner or wife, the Divine Feminine, and then a third person that he never got over a long time ago. Okay. It also could just have to do with non-romantic connections who are in his heart. You know, sisters, friends, mothers, that kind of thing. But they were coming up as 3 queens, so it seems to be all the same kind of age group. But it seems that the Queen of Cups was strong-arming him. The Queen of Wands seems to be the mistress of a current affair, or possibly the love that he never let go of. And then the Queen of Swords, who is completely affecting him, and he is desperate to express to this person. The Queen of Wands is coming off here as lying and or nasty, or holding back the truth that she knows about the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords has no options and is unaware of what's going on with the Queen of Wands. Or they're unaware of this third person, the Queen of Wands. Okay, it doesn't have to be a sexual relationship, but it's just someone that the Divine Feminine is unaware of. So some of the twins could be acting out like little kids, because obviously the twins are much like little kids. I'm getting the feminine aspect being the Page of Pentacles, and the masculine aspect being the Page of Swords. So the Page of Pentacles is, you know, needing to learn to grab opportunities when they have them. And the Page of Swords is about learning to mature their communication skills, okay? The Divine Feminine works at home, but even if it's positive work, it still can feel like a prison sometimes, being patient and allowing yourself to cry in separation of a huge love who has possibly communicated to you yesterday. The challenge is with other people and even other twin friends in your energy. Are they draining you? And then the Wounded Warrior is your masculine sending you a small message of passion. And are other people around you using you for your energy? Is your Divine Masculine using you for your energy? Okay? So if you're not in a good place with your Divine Masculine, they're not respecting you or treating you well, you shouldn't be letting them drain you of your energy. There's nothing wrong with sending back love, but you should not allow them into your sexual energy, because that drains you of your energy, and it's like, you know, energy harvesting. So not only can his partner harvest that and take that from you, but he can as well. Okay? So you could have a message from someone in the situation, whether it's your Divine Masculine or from another twin friend, someone who may be desperate to communicate about their third-party situation, and also is getting this Queen of Cups as this Leo energy, which Leo's been coming up a lot lately. This romantic tie connection. And that also could be an Aquarian. It could be Leo Aquarian and or. Also could be married to a Queen of Cups and a Queen of Wands mother-in-law interfering. Or again, like I said, it could just be 3 girls. It could be 3 people the Divine Masculine works with. Okay, I was coming up with the 4 of Wands, but definitely could be home or business, you know, if your Divine Masculine works with a lot of women. But again, they were all reversed, so it's not a good situation for him either way, whether it's home or work. It also could be that the Divine Feminine is the Leo Queen of Cups romantic tie connection, his dream girl. He spins the wheel and prays for answers about being a loving father and not stealing sexual energy. Like, how does he win? Like, he's screwed no matter which way he goes. You know, either he can't be in a partnership with his children and still be there every day for them, or in that situation he's then stealing energy from his twin, and vice versa. So he feels like he's in a no-win situation. And are the Divine Masculines holding back the truth, unaware of their options? The Divine Feminine, and same with the Divine Feminine. The Divine Feminine is detoxing, patching up to let go of death and allow transformation of a passionate exchange. The Queen of Wands energy is recovering back into the fold, or just recovering their finances. And the Queen of Swords is coming up as talking to others about making their dreams come true. So the message was definitely there to persevere and don't give up, and have compassion for the Divine Masculine. Taking steps to work on your creative self and align at work, possibly with a family legacy in your heart, leaving your burdens behind, and then challenged by, for the Divine Feminine, the King of Cups heart, which comes up as the Batcave, and the psychic abilities that are weak, with limited communication but expressing their feelings. So you may feel your Divine Masculine, but may not be in communication with them. He may see you as all 3 of these queens that come up. And it doesn't have to be negative. The 3 queens came up at different times yesterday. In this read, they were all upright, but it's the deck that I only use uprights. But I was getting more of an upright feeling. But then later when I did a Divine Masculine read, there were 3 queens reversed. Okay. So the 3 queens could also represent the Divine Feminine in this read, of all the ways the Divine Masculine sees you. He sees you as the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords, but not the Queen of Pentacles, which is the stability factor, being able to manifest work and finances and stability, that kind of thing. So you might be seeing you as the 3 of 4 queens right now, but you know how important money is to him, right? So if you think of this, the Queen of Wands is going to be all your creative aspects. You know, what do you do creatively that he sees? And the Queen of Swords is going to be your communication abilities, okay? And your intellect. And then, of course, the Queen of Cups being your nurturing, motherly self. So there might be family jealousy of the Divine Feminine regarding the work that she's doing, because she seems to be very much enjoying and loving the work that she does. And being very connected to your heart space and unconditional love. But make sure that, just like the Divine Masculine, the Divine Feminine can overwork as well. Don't overwork so much that it's draining you. So if you're communicating a lot with people, and you need to make sure you're clearing yourself before and after, but also even with clearing, it still can be draining to your energy depending on who you're dealing with, okay? So you need to scale down when that happens, and you need to take care of yourself first. Letting go of the mental prison by working from your heart space only. So the Queen of Wands energy was coming up as burdened by wounds of love. Okay, and then I was getting about musicians, because musicians sing from wounds of love. This is very much a release for them. I can tell you that firsthand. Working with crystal energy from your heart and speaking about his passion. So the Divine Masculine may be working with crystal energy to speak about his passions. And there could be family laughing at our psychic abilities and communication skills. Okay, so they could be mocking the Divine Feminine and or the Divine Feminine. I was getting specifically a family with 2 kids. One could be psychic and the other a good communicator of passion. Okay, so yesterday for the Divine Masculine, which was at 150-52, the major arcana for the masculine yesterday were Emperor and Karma. There were 4 Pentacles, 4 Cups, and 1 Sword. The court cards were Page of Swords, Knight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Cups. Alright, so a page and 2 knights, which is very childlike energy, but also the 9 of Pentacles came up, which I also see as a character, okay, because it's very independent and often comes up as teenagers and 20s, you know, a daughter type energy. So very much about children. This is for the Divine Masculine. The numbers that came up were 77, 97, 5, 102, 441, 31.5 out of 9, and also I got 39 and possibly 49 as well. The coding had to do with, again, this height of emotions is good therapy for us. So it's the collective consciousness and the Divine Feminine inside the Divine Masculine. Seeing changes at the height of emotions is good therapy. So again, it was basically the same message that was given to the Divine Feminine yesterday. The High Priestess, or a secret, chooses a path of her heart, allowing her wounds to show. So the Divine Masculine seeing this in the Divine Feminine. The Queen of Pentacles being seen as in another world, growing her roots up in epiphanies, moving into her heart in order to find peace. A bad turn may have come for the Divine Masculine, with the King of Pentacles reversed and the King of Wands reversed. This also could be for the Divine Feminine, like I said. It may be her loves past that came up and have affected her. Leaving work, but for the Divine Masculine, it would have been him leaving 2 kings behind, or the Divine Feminine, leaving work to find peace, getting over pain and suffering. The Divine Masculine's underlying energy was pay attention to the red flags, or pay attention to your signs and synchronicities. That romance is out of another world, with a dog hiding underneath the table. So it could be representing the Divine Masculine as being a dog, but it also could be a literal dog hiding underneath the table, as the Divine Feminine longs for him. Physical activity comes up also as underlying energy, that he's been more physical, maybe he's been working out at the gym. Dreams come true, getting over loss and regret, while a Leo energy heads one way and traveling to peace is the other in separation. But both of them following their dream. Yeah, I was getting the Leo energy going back and the go into peace energy going forward, and that was more air energy. I'm looking for peace while in separation, but both following their dream. Recently for the Divine Masculine, satisfied without conflict, but lonely in separation from the Divine Feminine's heart. The foundation for him has to do with impatience to align at work, communicating a small message. The center of the read has to do with the Emperor dumping his burdens and confessing, and or healing and forgiving a new love apart from him, as he worries she'll find another. The challenge for him is walking away after being weak and a spot of sadness for children, and giving and receiving with them, avoiding third party tugging on his heartstrings, and then desperate to express to her and head that way and lead the way. Now in the head and heart of the Divine Masculine is the King of Cups and the King of Swords reversed. King of Cups is upright, King of Swords was reversed. Moving forward. with the Queen of Wands moving, like literally moving out, in a divorce possibly, in order for this big love, or just justice of a big love and separation. Proposing this big love with jealousy. There's an Empress connecting by third energy, putting a wedge between the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine. So this could be a mother figure, as well as a mother of the children. Okay. So soon, for the Divine Masculine, meeting new love, for good or for less, after the Emperor without lover is injured, trying to catch up to the Queen of Swords reversed, who's not talking to him. He is worried the Divine Feminine will be the Five of Swords character, right? With harsh truth, because of her, putting her ass on the line for him. Or just having to deal with her in order to get to the wheel and put himself out there. So that was getting to her, has to do with the karmic energies. It could be just that too. So he's worried about the five of Swords could be him worried about confronting the Divine Feminine, but also confronting the karmic energy and how they may explode. He is independent right now after getting clear on an opportunity to improve his psychic skills, spending some money and a little insecurity there. It is safe for you to love and engagement. Okay, so he's being reminded again, it is safe for you to love and put your heart out there. And also engagement, which is coming to a higher level of commitment. It doesn't necessarily mean an engagement, but definitely an increase in the relationship. Around him and coming together with friends and family to dissolve patterns of feeling sorry for themselves and moping, and instead getting out there to do fun things. Just like the Divine Feminine went through that, right? Or is going through, depending on where you are. Clearing blocks of emotions, overwhelming him with kids spouting off, but also his inner child afraid to speak, with truth coming at him. Like, so he's afraid when he gets intimidated. So he's like the Page of Swords, wanting to speak his truth, but fearful of that when someone else is charging at him with also with truth. Regarding his family happiness and ending his family. Moderation comes up for him, to stay in moderation and not overindulge in anything. Protecting self in a third-party love affair. Freeing himself from a sham fam, or an artificial family that looks good on the outside but is not actually. Putting the harsh truth out there in order for his destiny to come true, and a 5D Lotus opening to true balance after taking down others and becoming a prisoner of his own stuck emotions of deliberating and not judging. Okay? Because it's okay to judge. You need to make a decision. He proposes a truce. The Queen of Cups reversed is harsh, and the Queen of Pentacles reversed could be too sexual, in need of balance, time and money. Expressing feelings about home to the Queen of Wands reversed, and about kids. One offering love indiscriminately, and one lazy. So it's getting that there's some concerns about the kids, so they may be acting out, like if they're teenagers. Again, one like offering themselves indiscriminately as far as love, they're falling in love with everyone they meet. And then the other one just being really lazy. And then the end of the sham fam. Okay, so much of this energy of separation was coming up for the Divine Masculine. Then we're going to go to today. Okay, so again, like I said, today is October 3rd, 2018. 3 is very much the Empress energy of expressing yourself just the way you want. Doesn't the Empress do that? She allows herself to be just who she is. It's also about coming together and about joy, all right? That smile, radiating joy to others. The day is the Queen of Wands, the 24-6. It's the 6 of that motherly love. But it's the 24-6 is the Divine Feminine energy on the outside. The inside is 4, which is structure. It's kind of restrictive energy. It's not real. It's out of fear of instability and safety issues. Okay, so the Queen of Wands lives her life to protect herself. It's all about stability. It's not about love, although she comes off as love. But her inner self is about security and stability, while she comes off as very feminine on the outside in order to manifest her life of family, 6, which she craves but doesn't know how to release enough to actually encompass, because she's so concerned about stability. So she may come off as a great mom, but it's not her motivation. Okay. So for the Divine Feminine today, and this was at 9:32 to 33. The major arcana were the Tower, the Wheel, and the Starseed. The court cards were the King of Wands and the Knight of Swords, so it was very much masculine today. There were 3 swords, so that was more than any of the other energies, so more in their head than they should be for the Divine Feminine. 2 Pentacles, 2 Wands, and only 1 Cup. So very not in her emotions today. The numbers coming up in the codes have to do with 9. 3, 2, 2, 1 came up, but that was pretty much it. There really weren't a lot of numbers coming up for the Divine Feminine today. But the coding had to do with the collective consciousness of 9. And being good at endings or compassion. Also like a slow infusion of the feminine crystal energy. Okay, so it's just another way of talking about the Divine Feminine's compassion for others, to aid in the therapy of the 9 and be the IV of the cry stalls. So people who are stalling and complaining or just still very much in their sadness, to be the compassionate, to be a saint for those other people to lean on. Also naivete comes up here, which is just lack of experience, wisdom, or judgment. Okay, it's not anything negative. It's just lack of experience, wisdom, or judgment that you can now create for yourself. So it's also calling you to be compassionate, but don't be naive. Don't be manipulated by the same people that you're being compassionate to. And it was really very much about crystal power when I put in the code to see what will come up online about how to use your crystal power. It's not just about the stone crystals, but your crystal power. Okay, so the first thing that came up when I put the code in was from gravitytales.com, and I got 2 entries from Age of Adepts. Okay, and it was chapter 381, Putting Things Back in Order. And it said, first, the total amount of magical crystals in the hall was never to go below 9 million. After all, the magic fairies relied on the magical energies in order to live. If the magic concentration in the room were too low, it would be hard for any new magic fairies to be born. Okay, so how perfect is this? In trying to explain to the Divine Feminine, the reason for you to, in Spirit's connecting with me, to keep your energy high is because as the newborns start coming in, it is so important for you to keep your energy high, and Spirit's connecting with me on this, okay? The new energies coming in are already going to be at a high vibration. They can't handle low energy people. So it's really important that you maintain your high frequency. Okay? The other Age of Adepts was chapter 406 on activating the Tower. And the Tower is the underlying energy in the read today. And it was very strong today. According to the control crystal, the core array resided on the 4th level. And wasn't I just talking about 4 as being stability and structure and safety issues? There were 5 surface levels to the tower and 2 underground levels, making a total of 7 levels. Okay, we're just talking about 7 generations. Then also came up with psychotronic crystals, and that was by Tim Rafat. And that was from, I don't know if I can say this right, but it's a long site name. It's Bibliotech Apleiades. It's not spelled like Pleiades, but it's kind of pronounced that way. It's Bibliotech and then APLEYADES.net. But this is psychotronic crystals. The matrix is a manifestation of psychokinesis being used to twist and involute the natural process of constructing realities using science and math billions of years ahead of our present knowledge. Okay, so this is what you're doing. Then the Chapel of Crystals in Las Vegas came up from Facebook. Just someone's comment about a chapel able to accommodate our wedding on May 24th. Okay, 24, the Queen of Wands came up again. That Irina was so helpful and kind, and it was stated twice. That Irina was so helpful and kind, the sentence was listed twice in the heading. Then also Crystal City, Virginia came up. And also the definition of a crystal, I was called to look up. And there's multiple definitions of crystal, but the one that I was guided to had to do with crystalline material used in electronics as a frequency determining element or for rectification, to rectify. Often, and I love this part, some of the details of the definition of a crystal have to do with often with external plane faces and repeating patterns internally. Okay, you're a crystal. Okay, so you know, it's like the meek rising and inheriting the earth being described as externally plain. You know, they've always been the faces that people didn't see, but repeating patterns internally. Okay, so seeing not only crystal stones, but we're going from what, carbon to crystal energy. And I'm reminding you of the 7 generations from the Salem witch trials, in which we're losing our voice. Okay. So, and then I looked up, that's when I looked up at 1010, how many years is considered a generation, to figure out how many generations has it been from the witch trials till now, and it's 7 generations. And then I was guided back to the 7 generations in my calculations were coming up to around May, so I went back to the May 24th, it just came up in the headings, because it was today as well, today's energy. And then I went back to look in my notes to see what I wrote on May 24th, 2018. And the book is missing. So I had a book, you know, I just have notebooks, you know, like these, for the past 3 years. And they're all there except for the book that I went to look for, which was between May 22nd and I think July 21st. So I don't know where it is. And I know I didn't leave it behind anywhere. So I don't know where it is. So hopefully no one's been in my house stealing my stuff. So let's see if that shows up. It's just weird that the one date that I was looking for isn't there. So that's the message. So, in going into the Divine Feminine's read for today, it was very heavy energies. Starting off with the Tower, you know, usually I don't usually see the Tower as being difficult negative energy most of the time. It comes up a lot as epiphanies and things like that, or just sudden events. But today it was coming up as very heavy. So there's a detox to clear destiny of the crap that you don't need anymore for the Divine Feminine. The Tower at the castle as a proposal is hidden in order to put the fires out as the electric grid ripples out everywhere, grounding in twin epiphanies. Mother and daughter energies are coming up. Multiple scenarios here, okay? So literally, I'm getting not just a mother and daughter, but it's coming up as a wealthy mother and daughter, both giving birth either to an unwanted child brought to light, or the mother wanting her independence and not a child. So literally I was getting the Empress next to the 9 of Pentacles. It was literally mother and daughter, both wealthy, independent, and both can be pregnant, or just one's pregnant and it's just the Empress, okay? No one has to be pregnant. It can be just they're birthing, maybe they're birthing into their wealth or into business, but I'll get into that in a minute. So there's multiple different scenarios. It also could be a mother who didn't treat her child well as a child, but now the daughter has grown up to be just like her mother, so now the mother likes her, but now her inner child is calling to her, all right, because she has issues now. Or it could just also be a mother and daughter who are both very full of themselves, leaving a child in the shadows, or the daughter's inner child reaching out for her own attention. And then it was funny because my daughter called. And and not that she has pregnancy issues, but the topic of pregnancy came up in the conversation, so that was interesting. And then also, star babies are reaching out. Star babies are reaching out for twins, both young and old mothers. So this is where the star children want to start coming in. So as the unions come in, a lot of twins are going to end up becoming pregnant. But it's also getting this mother as a grandmother, taking care of the grandchild because there's issues with the mother. Also, the Empress at night, hearing the call to action to be more independent, as well as no child left behind. Also, it could be a mother judging her daughter for not picking up her child when the child cries, or not including the child as part of the family. So someone might have shunned a child. Or both mother and daughter going into business together and ignoring their children because they're so busy into their thing. This could be a nighttime business of judging others. Creatively blocked and looking back, a partnership to take others down with detached and or manipulated King of Cups reversed, an independent, wealthy female set up by the girl's mother or grandmother in order to have the devil's spawn. Okay, so he's getting an arranged marriage here as well. Okay, so it's literally, I'm seeing a young girl, like maybe late teens into their 20s, being set up by the mother or the grandmother to be with this King of Cups reversed, who obviously is not a nice person, either detached or very manipulative. But it seems that the mother and the grandmother and the daughter are well off. All right? But this man is not good to have the devil's spawn. And it actually could be, it could be just an arranged marriage, so it's negative in that sense for the person who has to get married and doesn't want to. But it also could be literally, it could be devil worshipping where they're trying to, to spawn a child. Or just trying to get someone's money by marrying into that family. So let go of the control issues for the Divine Feminine is the underlying energy. There's a fantasy 5D world out everywhere for the Divine Feminine. So some days you may feel like you're in another world. As the full moon energies cast shadow on death and transformation of imbalances in relationships, addictions, and sadness or depression. So these are the energies we're coming down from the full moon. Very restless and not sleeping well due to death issues coming up to light, causing purges and lack of sleep. And synchronicities also come up as the underlying energies. So you'll be seeing lots of syncs. While the Divine Masculine inner child studies the Grail, and then I was also getting Braille, so there's maybe some who are studying Braille for deaf children. But I literally got the Grail. While the Divine Masculine inner child studies the Grail, and meditation, webs, and grids, and pillars of dark, feeling energies hovering all around him. The King of Wands looks back healing and forgiving, as the Queen of Wands reversed seeks revenge. I'm getting very heavy energies from this Queen, and she's in line with the Tower and the Ten of Swords, and she's reversed. Okay, this is not good energy. Also, the Divine Masculine's kids coming up as his wingmen in a safe landing. The Queen of Wands is raising hell with their kids, and detached King of Cups reversed also. So the King of Cups could just be out of sorts or being emotional because this Queen of Wands is on a rampage, or he could be manipulative as well or detached. And possibly a grandmother, like I said, taking the child to protect from the mother. Recently, the Queen of Wands reversed has dropped all their responsibilities and blocked by her own insecurities, or her car's broken down so she can't leave, feeling like she doesn't have the tools needed, and being very manipulative in betrayal, endings, or back pain, and in a sudden explosion. Okay, so Queen of Wands, they're very physical, so that could be a huge temper tantrum. I'm very familiar with that. My mother was very good at that one. The foundation, leading the way to offer love to those fearing this tower explosion or helping in the aftermath, holding back new life energy destiny. Okay, so for twins going forward into union, there may be something karmically that you need to deal with before you go into union. The tower being divinely orchestrated. Centrally, emotionally overwhelmed for the divine feminine, pushed down, emotionally overwhelmed, impatient and injured and unable to keep up with heartbreak and separation as the truth is revealed shockingly. Okay, so there's some kind of shock that comes up with this situation. The challenge for the divine feminine. So centrally, this emotionally overwhelmed person doesn't have to be the divine feminine. It could be the divine masculine. It's the energy about the truth. Okay, so it doesn't have to be a person, but it's about the truth coming out. And the people in the situation dealing with this truth coming out are emotionally overwhelmed, pushed down, impatient, injured, and unable to keep up with heartbreak and separation. Okay, so this truth comes out, and it's shocking, or it's very surprising to some. The challenge for the divine feminine is feeling isolated after someone stole work from you, or you ran away from a job, or your divine masculine's workplace, or you ran away from coming together for work and appearing on the side to have a happy family, but actually you're a sad angel behind the scenes, while transformation and endings come to 2 out of 3 at work who have been lying, cheating, and stealing out of boredom and not seeing the love before them, in much need of nature and grounding. So as getting this truth coming out is going to affect like 2 out of 3 people in the workplace, who are not in their truth, who are not in their integrity as well. So this is like that Saturn takedown, of everyone who hasn't been in their integrity. I was getting 2 out of 3 who have been lying, cheating, or stealing. Okay, the truth is coming out. So now, in the head and heart of the divine feminine, has to do with a big bomb dropping. As stuck emotions are released to end the worst of it and offer an opportunity to clear emotional space and see things differently without struggling to stay still while the Queen of Wands reversed is on the rampage. Okay, so it's an opportunity to clear your emotional space. So if you purge, it's fine. But it gives you an opportunity also to see things differently, because you remember the quanta is the leap from the purge when you're crying and then all of a sudden you're not. So how did you get from needing to cry desperately to now you're fine and you don't need to cry anymore? There's a comfort, so it's struggling to stay still. So you're learning to not struggle, to be able to be still in these moments of other people freaking out, staying at your 0 point. There's comfort for the angels in looking back in order to end the 3-way situation with balance and truth, or justice, without exposing what's behind, what's happened already, as the hermit, or it could be possibly Virgo energy, sadly wonders where his flame went. It could be her as well. It could be divine feminine or masculine, wondering where their flame went. So it could have to do with their twin flame, but also their own inner passion flame, okay? Destined to awaken with a conversation. So wondering where his flame went, destined to awaken with a conversation. So some of the divine masculines may be thinking about coming to the divine feminine just to get all the information about what they don't understand, okay? And wondering where their flame went. And right as I wrote that down, this huge sirens passed through the neighborhood. Soon for the divine feminine, after called to raise the dead and not work with their family anymore, the King of Wands, shaman energy, without a face or hiding his face, awakens to the Queen of Pentacles' destiny. He also could have been judged for being stubborn and or lazy, or judging his own family of this, like kids around the house, that kind of thing. All about money and family legacy. That's all about the money, right? So the Divine Feminine comes up as the wounded warrior. She's in the wounded warrior energy today. After sitting in difficult emotions of division, splits, and lies. Okay? The card that comes up for the Divine Feminine is getting to know each other. So she might find something out about the Divine Masculine, or there may be lies that come out that aren't actually true that cause a purge for you. But it's about getting to know each other now. Okay, and then I got Major Tom coming in for a landing. You know, from Elton John, Ground Control, to Major Tom. Major Tom is now coming in for a landing. I also got 2 flies. Also got Shoo Fly, Don't Bother Me, and then 2 space shuttles landing. Around the Divine Feminine, or seen as the Knight of Swords, holding on loosely. So around the Divine Feminine, or seen as, the Knight of Swords energy is here. Holding on loosely, grounding, independent, and in their knowing and over loss, is sending off 5D messages. Clear, for the Divine Feminine, clear the blocks in your heart of not being enough or not having enough, and this just came up in the other read, of needing to overwork and feeling the victim, and instead allow others in. Don't take them down before they get you. The King of Wands will be driving to your heart to get the key to his. And the card from the numerology deck that came up was Adventure reversed, which is really important. So it's going to be a huge adventure, and it has to do with this conceited Queen of Wands being the 5 of Swords, using the King of Wands as a front man at work. Okay, so she's coming out all of a sudden. You know, before, like, he was her puppet. She could do with him anything she wanted. He would do whatever she told him to do. The conceited Queen of Wands is coming up as the 5 of Swords. This is the, you know, the nasty enemy, right? Who's going to take everyone down before they can get him. This is her. Remember, this is her wounding. But she's been using the King of Wands as a front man at work, unaware of what the other 2, the King of Wands now unaware of what the other 2 at work are scheming. So are they on board with her? And he now doesn't know what's going on. A romantic tie with the Queen of Pentacles makes him happy as twins unite in a huge download, setting off a chain reaction of leaps of faith. Children are reunited. After jealousy of the Emperor reversed out of control, of the Queen of Pentacles' happiness on her own, there is talk about bringing them together at work against the Queen of Wands' wishes. Also could be a new life for kids where one parent has to walk away after depression of pain cycles to find inspiration and truth as the King of Pentacles, or being overseen by the King of Pentacles. You know, who's very grounded. You know, this is a good person, the Queen of Pentacles. But so either the Divine Masculine has to walk away from his kids in order to ground himself and become the King of Pentacles, or he has a King of Pentacles friend to help him. Okay. There may be some union adventures dealing with a crazy karmic, and they're calling the Divine Feminine to see whatever comes up with this karmic energy, whether it's the Divine Masculine's karmic or your karmic, to see it and as an adventure instead of drama. Okay, to consider it an adventure as you get to know each other, and this is part of getting to know the Divine Masculine, whatever comes up with this Queen of Wands. Okay. So that was the messages, and I'll pull you some oracle cards as well. Okay. So first the Ascension deck. Clear and align. Clear and align. Take a deep breath. Clear and align. This is for all the true twins. What do they need to know? Today, this October 3rd, 2018. What is the message for the true twins? Okay, we have the bottom of the deck is air, which is number 12, which has to do with wisdom. and wisdom came up too in the read. Number 12 is the hangman, so it's about being able to see things from a new perspective. And you can use your thoughts to do that, but just ground it in your heart space. The element of air supports truly magical cosmic qualities. Sylphs are air elementals, which just came up the day before yesterday, working for the elemental master Dom and supervised by the unicorns. You're guided to ask the unicorns to direct Dom and his sylphs to spread the qualities of air: enlightenment, ascension, enthusiasm, freedom, and divine vision into the minds of those who need them. Also ask them to purify currents of air and blow them to polluted areas so they may be cleansed. Help the fairies work with flowers by acknowledging and appreciating them when you walk by. And the affirmation is, I invoke air to carry angels singing around the world and bring hope and peace. Okay, that's the underlying energy. And now the card that came up for you guys is Ascended Master Retreats, which is 49. Okay, and 49 is the Nine of Cups. It's the getting your wish, you're being satisfied, but it can also be arrogance, so watch out for that. It's 49 is the 4 of stability and structure and building. It's the 9 of compassion on the inside and being very responsible on the outside, being the person people can always depend on. The great masters of the earth have had incarnations, mastered their lessons, and ascended. They are disciplined but compassionate, for they understand the challenges of being in a physical body. This is an invitation to visit in sleep or meditation those ascended masters from who you wish to learn. In their retreats in the inner planes, they teach their skills and knowledge to students. You can absorb this at an etheric level and start to bring the wisdom into your life. If you feel a resonance with particular ascended masters, ask them to guide you. And the affirmation is, I walk with the ascended masters. So it's just a call to, again, connect with any master you like. You know, do it in meditation or when you go to sleep at night, whichever you like. But we're being called to get their wisdom, because, you know, you are ascended masters, to bring you back to who you truly are and help with healing. Okay, the past life deck. Okay. Clear in a line. Take a deep breath. Clear in a line. Clear in a line. Alright, what is the message for the organic true twins? What is the message? For October 3rd, 2018, what is the message? Okay. At the bottom of the deck is the High Priest or Priestess. And the card that came out is Galactic. Okay, which is just backing up there the last card we had about visiting your ascended masters. Okay, make your galactic connections. It's a call to meditate more. And there's, in this card, there are, it's like a kite being shown, the kite constellation, and that the bottom of, not the bottom of the string, but the bottom of the kite is the brightest star in the picture. So it's calling you to fly. And we had 2 flies in the read today, okay? Fly with your twin. So do meditation, connect with your twin, and visit an ascended master. We have the High Priest or Priestess, which is being called to use your abilities, okay? And also cut any cords that are around you with anyone, anything from your past lives, of commitments, seals. Seals came up today. You know, connection to the witch trials. Make a conscious effort to clear all this stuff today, but also to connect to your galactic connections today. Use your abilities with your twin and fly. Alright, and then we have the Journey of Love. And it was just 1/19/10 and 11. 1/19/17, 18, 19, 1/19/19. Okay, so this is for the Journey of Love. Journey of Love, Journey of Love. What is the advice? Take another deep breath. What is the advice for the Organic True Twins today? It's October 3rd, 2018. Bottom of the deck is Eruption of Light, number 11. Okay, very beautiful. So you might be being called with this as the underlying energy to take this eruption of this Queen of Wands as an eruption of light. Because with this chaos will come the light. Okay, you see in this card that you had, just like all your purges, you had to go through all of this in order to get to 0 point in the vortex, okay? You know the cycles. So allow the purging, because you know there's a clearing after the purge. There's a light. The card came out is Sacred Convergence. Okay, that's number 28. The Eruption of Light, I told you, was 11, which is Justice, which came up again. It came up during the read today. And also Sacred Convergence is 28, which is the Two of Wands, Twin Flames. It's very much about union. It's about grounding union. I'm going to read you that one. Okay, so number 28. Sacred Conversion. It was just 12108. There is a coming together happening within your body and soul, a unification of all that is within you. This is akin to traveling to a strange land, as all sorts of new sensations, not all welcome at first, including the Queen of Wands reverse, begin to make themselves known to you. If you're experiencing discomfort within your own body, or uncertainty, and a sense of expansion to include more of your life and your thoughts and feelings, then you are conscious of this sacred convergence. It is like two worlds, or more, colliding. If you're sensitive, you will feel it happening as an important event without necessarily having a physical situation to attribute the experience to, or upon which to hang an explanation. You may also be encountering this in a very physical sense by finding yourself in situations which you previously would have avoided. You may be meeting people and thrown into relationship with them, apparently more by circumstance than by your own conscious choosing. This is a meeting of you with your shadow and something to rejoice in, even if it is uncomfortable at times. Be gentle and loving with yourself and kindly seek to find the beauty in what you are learning about yourself in your interactions and experiences. You are a wise soul seeking to know yourself rather than judge others. So remember, if this Queen of Wands comes into your space having a temper tantrum, you're calling that energy from your wounds. Okay, so how you project yourself, the opposite is your wound. So how she is your wound that you need to let go of. It's being called to bring up to your headspace so that you can let it go, to your consciousness. Remember your divine perfection as you are thrilled and challenged in this time of great growth. You are guided to be curious, as though traveling to a foreign land and remaining open to experiencing its treasures. This oracle holds a message for you. A deeper part of yourself is calling you forward. Any discontent, struggle, anxiety, or fear is a subconscious recognition of this. Don't worry. You're a unique plant in the divine garden. You don't have to know what plant you are in order to grow. You just need to live each day, and the growth happens naturally. Then you can see over time the beauty of your true nature revealing itself to you. It will be a revelation to be relished. And the poem reads, "From the white foam on the surface of blue to the mystery beneath the waves, wherever your travels may lead, may the artist's touch inspire us to explore the ocean realm and celebrate the beauty, as land gives way to water and water to the unknown." Okay, so you give away solid ground to your emotions because your emotions allow you to open to the unknown. Okay, so there's a reason for everything. And this one doesn't come up very often either. It's like I told you I used to write the dates down in my book of when the different ones would come up for me. And I only have 2 dates written down there. And I'm going to tell you the dates since they may come up for some of you. October 11th came up of 2016, as well as November 9th of 2016, Sacred Convergence. Okay. Alright, so tell me what you think. Thank you guys all for your likes, your shares, subscribes, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. It does help. And of course, for your comments, please comment below if you have anything to add, or if this has brought up anything for you. And of course, if you need any of my services, all my information is below. Just send me an email and let me know what you want. And of course, I do tarot card reads and twin flame coaching. My reads are really about the coaching. It's not about predicting the future as much as it is about bringing up the wounds that need to come up, as well as I do Reiki healing as well. I don't do much of it though because it is draining for me, and I'm trying to keep my my energy stable, as you guys all know. And also, if you want your numerology done, your personal numbers as well as your life cycle numbers, as well as your yearly, and so your current numbers going forward, where you're headed, I can do that for you as well. Okay, and again, my CDs, Ashes, Twin Flames, or Twin Towers to Twin Flames. It's available on iTunes, Google Play, CD Baby, and Amazon, or I can mail it to you. So if you're interested, please let me know. Everything's on my website at twinflames3344.com. Have an amazing day, guys, and rise and be loved. Take care.